I was not going to do this, Joker, but I figured we could learn something. Or I should say, you should learn something. When it comes to body language, the better you know somebody, the better the read. That's just reality. Unfortunately for that, there also comes a time when you know someone, you become blinded by your biases to that person. So you have to constantly look at yourself and go, am I being biased, or is that really what's going on? So we sit there and we look at Lindsey Graham. The pattern with him is he loves war. He hasn't met a war he don't like. I swear, if they were dropping bombs on his house, he'd probably be outside doing something very unmentionable in front of it. That is how much he loves war. Now, this is prior to the signing of the deal. This is just when it's being heard. And all the tiny cats have decided that they don't like it. Yes, I said cats. You did not mishear me. I decided I actually like that term better. So he's walking down this corridor. He's picking his teeth. He doesn't look gleeful. He's actually bent over, hunched down. He doesn't have his normal peacock feathers all standing up, head up. Ha 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 ha. He's not doing that. We have a pattern break. Oh, okay, what's going on? Why do we need to pay attention to you, sir?
Real quick. At this point, with the MOU being signed, I know you said you posted yesterday.
Well, some of the criticism of the MOU is valid, I think. But here's the way I look at it. Without...
I take that back. That's the wrong one. I have messed up. I've got to go to the other one, which is pretty much the same thing as far as his demeanor. But we will go to the other one.
Senator Graham, President Trump.
He's a little bit up, but his eyes are downturned as he walks in. So he's not very happy, obviously, about this MOU.
Yeah.
President Trump has now appointed you to get the Save America Act across the finish line. What is your plan to do that, considering the pushback from many Senate Republicans?
Well, he's going to have to help me get them change their vote. I don't think we have...
Well, this is the Save America Act as well. There are both in this. So the Save America Act, for those of you who do not know, is where we actually have, well, some accountability in our elections. Not that the electronic voting machines aren't going to steal it anyways, but to make it look like we give a crap, to take at least some of the cheating away, the Save America Act. I found that quite interesting, too, when he said that. He's going to have to help me. And you see this little side smile from him. Now, mind you, this is the same time as the MOU. And it's like, oh, this seems like one of those carrots of Trump do this or this won't happen kind of things. That's just my opinion based on the context of how this little interview goes.
The votes to change the filibuster. I do want to try to help him get the Save America through. I think we do some stuff in reconciliation. But at the end of the day, senators get a vote, and it's a math problem. So I'm hoping we keep pushing it every week. I'd love to vote on the Save America Act every week until the election to define the difference between Republicans.
You keep seeing as he says that, there's a negative head shake as he does it. He don't want the Save America Act. If there's a Save America Act, I know it's just one piece of the cheating taken away. The reality is, you know, they've got different methods depending on how much they have to cheat to get to where they need to go. And I guess it goes on to, well, who controls the machines? Maybe that's who they're fighting. Who knows? These are all just theories anyways. But Graham don't want it. I don't think he's going to be senator if it's in there.
It's a Democrat, so if I had to explain to somebody from Mars what's the difference between a Democrat and Republican, I would say the Save America Act. We're for it, they're against it.
Senator, what do you make of this memorandum of understanding right now between Iran and the U.S.?
Yeah.
Are you confident that a deal can be reached?
I'm confident that President Trump won't sign a bad deal. The MOU...
So there we go. Won't sign a bad deal. He puts his head down and he looks at him from the top of the eyes. Kind of like I know he's not going to sign a bad deal. That was the little snippet of the other video because I got them backwards, showed you. It didn't go as he had liked.
As described by the Vice President and administration seems very promising. Iranian media reports about the deal seem concerning. Once the MOU is actually released, we can all look at it. I think that will be helpful. The President's committed to doing that. He's committed.
And that part I did find interesting because before, people like him that have been in government pretty much as a career, there were no secrets about what was in these little treaties or deals or the backroom conversations because they knew it all. The fact that he's like singing in his body, that he has no idea what's in this deal, and he's going off reports about what Iran is saying, he's completely in the dark. That is a good thing because anywhere this man is at, typically people are dying and he's gleeful. Again, we have a pattern break. He's not happy. That's the pattern break. Now let's go back to the video that I got backwards. So he's not happy. The deal actually at this point has been signed, as we have.
At this point, with the MOU being signed, I know you said you posted yesterday.
Well, some of the criticism of the MOU is valid, I think.
We've got a whole lot of downwardness. We've got the eyes closing quite a bit on this. He does not want to give eye contact. This is a very sad, sad little Lindsey Graham. Some of the criticism is actually valid.
But here's the way I look at it. Without the MOU being signed, there's no pathway to diplomacy to end the nuclear ambitions of Iran. What does that leave you with? War, continuation of the status quo. So the upside of signing the
And again, we have another pattern break. Remember, Ms. Lindsey loves war. And for the first time in a very long time for Ms. Lindsey, the word war and sadness is on his face. Everything you need to know is in that. Sadness does not go with him and war. He's happy about it. You need to recognize patterns. This is a pattern breaker.
The MOU was greater, I think, than the downside. The deal itself is the big prize. If it's a bad deal.
And we have that constant eye down, the eyelid down, and the flutter behind the eyes. No, he's not happy with the deal. He does not want to face it. Now, he says something interesting in this little interview.
I'll say so in my view. I'm hoping it will be much better than JCPOA. But the real prize is, can you expand the Abraham Accords after you deal with Iran the way we have? October the 7th was designed to stop normalization between Saudi and Israel.
I was going to let it play for a little bit, but because there's not really much of a change in his demeanor other than a lighterness. When he mentions the Abraham Accords. Now, I had to go look up, what is these Abraham Accords? And it's just like what I kept getting out of it was it's a normalization of affairs between countries. Basically, Israel's normalization with everyone who signs this deal with them. They get freedom of movement, they get tech, tourism, just, the freedom, sanctions lifted, trade increase, billions of dollars going through. And I was like, nobody gets this excited about this kind of deal, especially the tiny cats, if there isn't something more for them. Because they don't do nice. Morality is not their friend. So what else do they get? And how come Lindsey lightens up as we might get the Abraham Accords? Why is that why is that such a big thing? There's no mutual protection thing. There's no war treaty. There's no conflict resolution in these Abraham Accords. There's nothing like that. But you know what there is in the Abraham Accords? Mossad. They're going to have their intelligence system within these countries. Oh, really? That's never a bad thing, huh? That is why they want the Abraham Accords. Intelligence. They say it's intelligence sharing, but you know how that goes. They put their little intelligence people inside your country, and the only sharing that happens is what they find out on you to make you do what they want. That's the Abraham Accords. That's why it is so important. I think there's only 4. The UAE signed it. Morocco signed it. What was the other? I think it was Bahrain. Kazakhstan might have done it, or they tried to. And I think it was Morocco. Those are the only ones that have signed it. UAE is not very happy about it. They're not publicly saying that, but they're certainly not happy about the conflicts that keep happening in the region and then the bombs that fall on top of them as far as a retaliation event from the conflict of this idiot that they signed something with. And that will be the next shoe. He may not be smiling on war, but I guarantee he starts later smiling on these Abraham Accords. May the Lord bless you and keep you. In Jesus' name.